The people of the United States have always fought for freedom, ever since the nation's tumultuous conception in 1776. The Revolutionary War, a struggle against tyranny, was only the first battle for these ideals. While this conflict for oppression has greatly changed over the centuries, the identity of their dream, this constant battle for liberty, still burns bright. The America that these people strive for, however, is under great tension as this fight for freedom seems unending. This American dream, which emerged with the War for National Independence, which turned into a fight for equality and civil liberty, now represents a struggle for the right to be an American. The fight for emancipation continues throughout the generations, as the American dream continues to inspire the pursuit of freedom.
The inhabitants of the 13 colonies up to 1776 faced mounting abuses from their rulers from abroad in Great Britain. The British infringed on their right to suffrage, murdered their citizens, and usurped colonial democracy. For many, these crimes expanded out of control and their hands were forced. Thus, 56 revolutionaries came together to sign America's founding document, the Declaration of Independence, uniting the 13 colonies into one United States. In this document, these founding fathers outlined their grievances with Great Britain and its king, putting forth that he has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substance. The people of the states have publicly petitioned against these actions, but peace itself proved to be an ineffective measure of change. Instead of considering these propositions, the British sent a suppressing force against their own subjects. Through these actions, the British government lost the consent of the people, and as such, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and to institute new government. The new government established by this document provides clarity to the American dream. These founding fathers fought not for power, but for the rights of the people. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. In this, the spark for freedom burned into a blazing war, resulting in the American dream. Years of conflict later, the United States had finally stood triumphant over tyranny, no longer bound by its prisoners in Britain. By the 1800s, the United States had established itself as a respected nation, a key part within the global economy. For the white man, freedom and prosperity had been gained from the hands of oppression. For the black man, that very opulence changed generations of forced labor. The institution of slavery, core to the economy of the Southern states at the time, divided America within itself. The rising abolitionist movement, aiming to end slavery, attracted a growing crowd of talented speakers. Frederick Douglass, a man who was born into slavery before achieving his freedom, was one of these orators. For Douglass, there was nothing on earth more vile than American slavery, and no document presents this better than his speech, "What to the slave is the 4th of July?" Presented on the 5th of July, 1852, Douglass spoke to an audience joyfully celebrating the Declaration of Independence and their national liberty. Instead, he looked upon that anniversary from the perspective of the slave, and viewed it as a day that reveals to him, more than all other days of the year, the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is the constant victim. America was founded with the ideals of liberty for all, yet its enslavement of millions stood against the very dream that it prided itself on. However, despite Douglass's insistence that there is not a nation on earth guilty of practices more shocking and bloody than are the people of these United States, he still believed in the pursuit of freedom prevailing amongst the proclaimed evils. Douglass, however, no matter how he despised the actions of the states, could not bring himself to despair over the country. Near the end of the speech, after persecuting America and its practices, Douglass pushed that slavery's end was inevitable, drawing encouragement from the Declaration of Independence, the great principles it contains, and the genius of American institutions. Rather than hate the country that enslaved its people, Douglass was inspired by the American dream and its promises. He believed that the American dream would eventually stand for the paragon drafted years ago. Almost a decade later, the United States erupted into war once again, ending the tyranny propagated by its own people. However, as one fight for freedom ended, the next began. Centuries later in the 21st century, oppression still lingers, and similar injustices may have been destroyed, but they remain all the same. One of the issues at the forefront of the modern-day fight for freedom is immigration. Though it previously was the catalyst in the growth of the United States, in recent times, immigration has instead become a system marked by dehumanization, abuse, and racism, according to Maldonado. These crimes are being backed by the support of significant companies Palantir and Babel. Their developments of Immigration OS and Babel X, respectively, have caused a widespread state of fear and persecution within the immigrant community. These services, funded by ICE, allow them to track and identify individuals for deportation and track their every move and action. Communities get raided, people get deported, and families get separated in an unreasonable crusade against Americans. These actions have been reported to increase fears among immigrant families, causing negative effects on health and well-being. Immigrant families, including those with lawful status, report experiencing resounding levels of fear and uncertainty, according to Polive. America has, once again, betrayed the dream that was founded upon, alienating the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for the people. However, as seen from the revolutionaries of the past, the American dream continues to be fought for, and the fights of the past demonstrate to all that as long as hope for freedom remains, oppression will remain transient. As long as America has existed, ever since the original fight against Britain, the rights of the people have been under constant threat. The tenets of the Declaration of Independence, signed into effect 249 years ago, a liberty for all, have never been fully secured. A country designed to be the land of the free and offer opportunity, enslave many and discriminate against many more. America has never truly fulfilled its dream. Still, people today continue to fight for that dream and strive for an America that stands for its ideals. People continue to move to this country, no matter how dangerous it may be, because of what the American dream represents. Oppression today will continue to change form moving to the future, but so will the American dream and the fight for freedom it inspires.